Good morning and welcome to Emotional Response ER. This is Ivory. Hello, hello, hello. How are things? I know on this side, like when it comes to me, how are things with me? I'm excited once again to be joining you to talk about another topic under emotions, under emotional wellness, under communication, under healthy connections, and just social living in general. Today's topic will be habits. I want to dive into habits when it comes to work, mainly because 80 to 90% of our time is where we work at and what we do. And becoming more effective is so important, especially because it's 80 to 90% of our time. If you calculate the time that you get up to the time that you go to bed, and then the time that you are at work versus at home, the time that you spend at home might look like more, but you have to subtract the hours that you spend sleeping. So technically, the time spent might be 3 to 4 hours at home before you go to bed, unless you're a late nighter and waking up early doesn't affect you. But on average, you spend most of your time at your work, at your career, at your hustle, at the thing that drives you, at the thing that meets all your needs when it comes to bills and clothing and creature comforts. So we're diving into this topic called habits. It's going to be two-part for this week. I'm going to be covering bad habits today. And on Thursday, I'll be covering good habits. Now, I might roll it over into next week and focus on habits when it comes to our relationships and our private life. And whether I do that or not will be basically y'all responses if y'all really need it. I always think you need any topic, any subject, any particular angle because it's going to benefit you in some shape or form. But now for those that are entrepreneurs and they're starting up or they're maintaining or they're coasting, still your habits can be examined. And it can only help you because habits will either make you more effective or hinder you. And just by sheer definition, a habit, if you need to watch and model, well, what are your habits? Your habits are the tendencies or the practices that you do that you can't help to a certain degree in your mind mentally. It's just something that you're used to doing. And you don't have a label of whether it's right or wrong. You just have a label of this is what I'm used to doing. This is what I'm used to operating out of. And so sometimes because we don't label the habit, we'll continue doing it because it just feels right. But everything that feels right don't make it right. So that's just a process that you have to dissect within yourself and figure out what habits are good or bad. I'm going to talk about a couple of habits when it comes to work that are bad habits that can affect you tremendously and your environment and your product and your results. So the first habit I want to talk about is procrastination. lingering a project over your head to the last minute, dangling duties that you need to take care of in advance or at this minute, waiting to the last minute. And it's a bad habit. Well, some people might conclude that, well, I work better under pressure and I get the job done, but I still produce. Yes, but along the way, it becomes a hindrance to your environment and those around you. It can anger others. You can have rush results. It could pressure people into compensating for your lack thereof. The world doesn't revolve around you. So you have to step outside of yourself and say, will it be more effective if I do this in a timely manner? And 9 times out of 10, it will. Can it be done if you procrastinate? Probably so. But will it be more effective if you do it in a timely or early manner? Yes. Not just for you, but for others around you. Because you affect others emotionally too by dragging stuff out. Catch yourself. Realize, okay, this is a habit. This is what I'm used to operating out of. This is what I'm used to doing. What do I need to do to get right? Maybe you might need to set your alarm a little early. Maybe you might need to go to a certain destination in order to complete it. The library, Starbucks. Maybe you might have to cut off the TV. Because after the next episode, you might not want to do it. So you have to look at this habit and say, okay, it's affecting so many other things. How can I get it right? When you're supposed to start a meeting, so what, you're hosting. If you tell everybody to be there at the latest 8:30 and the arrival time is 8 o'clock, you gave them a grace period. You should have a grace period. And to step up the ante a little more, your grace period should be even earlier than theirs. So if you tell them 8 to 8:30, yours should be 7:30 to 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock would be late to you. When you're supposed to make a certain phone call at a certain time and you say it is an important phone call, line up your declarations with your actions. If it's important, don't postpone it to the last minute. Time might be of the essence when it comes to that matter. You might miss your window of opportunity by this habit of being late or delaying things to the last minute. So this bad habit could choke a lot of things and damage a lot of connections. Nobody's asking you to be perfect. Just be better. So if this is a habit, start working on it. If you know, okay, you used to being late, try to be less late. If it's a half an hour late, try to break it down to 15 minutes. And then break it down to 5 minutes. And then no longer have it again. Because sometimes it's a mental thing. And in our head, it's way bigger than what it seems. And we have to do baby steps. It doesn't make you any less of a human. It's just everybody's method is different. Some people just can't up and just dive in and tackle that bad habit of procrastination and do away with it. Sometimes they got to take baby steps. And that might be your case. And either way you do it, it will only make you better and more efficient and more effective. So don't get caught up in how it get done. Just realize it's going to get done. I'm going to break this habit. I see the damage that it's doing. I see how it's affecting others. Another bad habit in business is lying. Hedging the truth on a consistent and regular basis. Yeah, you'll get away with some things. Yeah, some things will be overlooked. But eventually it'll catch up. Because if you're always in a posture of lying, then you got to cover a lie with a lie. I got to the meeting late because I got into an accident. There's no damage to my car, but the person kind of bumped me. They might not have bumped me as hard as you think they should have, but it was enough to stop. Yeah, we did a lot of back and forth. So you done made a whole story. Compound on a compound. When the reality thereof, you let time escape you. You didn't allot enough time. And you was busy doing something of more importance in your mind. It was labeled as more importance. And so it exceeded its time. But even though it went into another thing on your schedule, instead of you being honest and open about it, you pile a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie. Now you got a whole story. Now you got to map out even the anger, the anger and the back and forth and the argument that you got in. It's a lie. It's a lie. You got to bend the numbers on the paper. So you bend the numbers on the paper. So then you got to bend the explanation. So then on top of bending the explanation, you got to twist the proposal. Then on top of twisting the proposal, you got to talk to people in a vague way to make it seem like the numbers tally up, but you don't have enough information. That's a lie. A lie on top of a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie. The reality is you're not meeting your numbers. Embrace it. The reality is, okay, the quota won't be met this month. The reality is you're not getting as many views as you're telling everybody. Be truthful. Not to say anyone's perfect, and I can't stress this enough as we go through the bad habits. But be a little better at handling your affairs. Somebody shouldn't have to look at you and say, "Oh, here they go again. What story they gonna make up now? He or she is a compulsive liar. Don't trust them for anything." Because if you can map out a whole story to that degree, they looking like, well, what else you gonna lie about? Are you gonna overprice me?